Corporations are really anxious to get a piece of the gold, the Olympic gold that is. But when it really comes down to the money, is it worth all of that $40 million or so that the companies have paid for the sponsorship? And what it seems to be happening is that a lot of these companies really aren't getting the medal, so to speak. Consumers get a bit confused because there are so many advertisements out there and so many Olympic sponsors that a lot of times the sponsorship seems to get lost in the crowd. And even though they've paid significant amounts of money, a lot of times consumers really aren't seeing that association of that particular company or product with the Olympics. The reason that manufacturers and retailers are trying to become sponsors for the Olympics is that association. It's that glitz and glamour and the excitement of the games. And as we all well know, particularly this year, since they're going to be in Atlanta, they're going to be very much watched, and we're going to have tremendous, probably breaking all records as far as the number of viewers. But as far as the sponsorship itself goes, even though a lot of companies have really gone out of their way for the sponsorship, it seems like it may not have been the best move for them and the most effective use of their dollars. Coca-Cola, though, is an interesting story, and I think they're really going to get a bang for their buck. When you think about it, they are Atlanta, and that association is very tight, and they are the key sponsor of the Olympics this year. And from what I've heard, they're even going to shut down all the plants and manufacturing in Atlanta for those couple of weeks as well. And the company is really considering this both internally and externally to be a big extravaganza for them. So for a company like that, it makes a lot of sense, and they're going to be very successful. But when you look at other sponsors, there seems to be a sponsor for everything. And a lot of times consumers just can't relate that particular product to the excitement of the Olympic Games. If you take a company like Seiko, and they are the official timekeeper, well, something like that is logical and would perhaps stick and register in the consumer's mind. So it's not to say that all sponsorships aren't going to be working, but as consumers, we're going to be getting a little bit confused watching this is the official Olympic sponsor of this and that. And sometimes you wonder what hemorrhoid medicine or a lot of these cough syrups or medicines like that really have to do with the Olympics themselves. Companies are going to be going for the gold, and as consumers, we're going to be also watching the manufacturers and retailers going for the gold as well as the sports and the athletes. As the sports stars and enthusiasts are going to be going for the gold in the Olympics this year, we're also going to be seeing many companies, retailers, manufacturers, marketers going for the corporate gold as well with the Olympic sponsorships. Are they worth all the gold that they're actually paying? Well, that's debatable, because companies are spending up to $40 million for this sponsorship, and in a sense, a lot of it may not be as valuable as they claim. It may not be their most effective use of their dollars, because for us as consumers, we tend to get confused as to so many sponsors. It seems to be an Olympic sponsor for everything, and a lot of times that association gets lost in the crowd of all the glitz. The Olympics are really going to be one of the biggest marketing extravaganzas that we've had probably in the past decade or so. And a lot of companies are really trying to jump on the gold, so to speak, and go for the medal with their sponsorship. The Olympics themselves are really going to be a marketing extravaganza as well as one of the biggest sports extravaganzas, really, of the century. And I think we're going to be seeing more and more companies going for the gold and attempting to invest some of their advertising and promotional dollars to really take up with that association and become a part of the glitz and the glamour and the excitement of the Olympics. We are really a sports-oriented society, and when you think about things such as the Olympics or the Super Bowl, these are really some of the biggest hyped events that we have in our society. And what a lot of companies attempt to do is become a big part of that glitz and glamour and excitement by, in a sense, riding on the tail of the Olympics. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of sponsorships. We're going to be seeing a lot of companies spending significant amounts of money. And a lot of times these companies are really going to get lost in the crowd because of all the millions of dollars. the Olympics have made about $1.4 billion in sponsorships. So in a sense, these sponsorships have helped support the Olympics and really pay for the Olympics themselves, so we as consumers and viewers can enjoy the games. But overall, that's a tremendous amount of money that's being spent, and a lot of times it's not used most effectively by companies because there are so many sponsors out there that in a sense it seems like there's an Olympic sponsor for everything, and a lot of the companies will unfortunately get lost in the shuffle and not be really getting the medal, the gold medal, that they were hoping to get with the Olympic Games.